Ghost Recon Breakpoint is the latest installment in the long-running tactical shooter series and sequel to 2017's Wildlands. It features a new story in a new location and introduces some new gameplay mechanics. The result of it, though, is a bit of a mixed bag of things. Breakpoint follows the story of Nomad, who just so happens to be the leader of the special forces unit known as the Ghosts. The story starts off with the introduction to Operation Greenstone, which is a mission to re-establish comms with Skull technology after a cargo ship has mysteriously sunk in the vicinity of their headquarters. As is to be expected, things don't go according to plan. Your choppers are shot down and your surviving soldiers are scattered around the island of Aroa. As the leader of the Ghosts, it's your job to find your remaining troops and complete your mission while facing off with a former ally. The main narrative starts off fairly strong as it gets you going on your way, however it doesn't continue in the same fashion. The story isn't particularly engaging and neither are the characters. They're quite forgettable and for the most part pretty shallow too. The one that stands out the most is Walker, the game's main antagonist, who is played by John Bernthal. Walker's scenes tend to stand out a little more thanks to some of the more villain-esque monologues he delivers. A lot of the dialogue comes across as a little cheesy though, and the voice acting is just everywhere. The gameplay takes place from a third-person perspective, with shooting taking place from first or third person depending on what you prefer. The shooting mechanics work pretty well, which is a good thing since it's a big part of the experience. You are able to equip 3 guns at a time, a primary, a secondary and your handgun. Most of the time I ran around with an automatic rifle and a sniper in order to be efficient from varying ranges. You're constantly finding new loot though, with some of them even featuring additional perks that buff certain stats. The cycle of shooting and looting doesn't feel as interesting as other similar titles though, so repetition starts to set in after a few hours. The gunplay in Breakpoint is great and each weapon feels powerful. This is mainly because enemies don't feel like bullet sponges and in most cases can be taken out with a single shot to the head. It's rewarding and actually makes you feel like a skilled soldier. At the same time, however, it means that it doesn't really matter which gun you take into a fight, as you'll more often than not emerge victorious without much of a challenge. The loot in Breakpoint is a bit of a weird situation though, as each piece of gear has a rating that contributes to your gear score. However, the gear score doesn't really matter much when it comes to surviving, as it doesn't up your defense. Gear pretty much offers the same level of defense no matter the rating. The gear score just acts as a way to measure your progress as you make your way around a rower, which honestly feels quite shallow. Being a tactical shooter, Breakpoint includes the option of using a stealthy approach. So much so that you're able to go prone and cover yourself in mud for some makeshift camouflage. It's a really cool feature to use if you're about to get spotted by an enemy. Playing stealthily can be incredibly rewarding, especially when you're able to take out a group of enemies without any of them noticing. Some of the best times I had with Breakpoint were actually when I could sneak into an enemy base and just not be seen. The cover system can be a bit messy, however. When pressing against cover, you'll automatically link up with it, but moving along that cover while staying out of view feels like a bit of a struggle. Often you'll find yourself trying to hug a corner and then accidentally popping out, and not only that, but shooting from this position can be awkward as well and just end up blocking your shots. Ghost Recon Breakpoint, just like its predecessor, is best experienced with friends. 3 other players are able to join you and your squad, and you'll be able to play through the story or just cause trouble all over the map. Playing with a team of human players is definitely the best way to experience the game and enables you to plan and be as strategic as possible. There's also a social hub included in the game that is found very early, but it seems like an odd choice for a title that isn't particularly a shared world experience. Breakpoint also offers a PvP mode in the form of Ghost War. If you ever get tired of shooting AI controlled enemies, you could take a crack at facing off with other players. The available game modes are Elimination and Sabotage. The former is a 4v4 team deathmatch mode with elimination, and the latter is a 4v4 mode where it has an additional objective of a team planting a bomb and successfully letting that bomb explode. It's a fun time since human players are a lot smarter than the game's AI from the campaign. One of the best things about it is that players' weapons and skills from the campaign carry over into the multiplayer, and any rewards earned in the latter go back with you into the campaign. Something that should be mentioned is that the game does have microtransactions. They're pretty easy to ignore since it mostly covers cosmetic items that have no real effect on gameplay, and then weapons that can be found by just playing the game. Ghost Recon Breakpoint is somewhat disappointing. The story is lackluster and the characters even more so. However, John Bernthal's performance is a breath of fresh air. The stealth gameplay feels quite rewarding, but it's tarnished a bit by the sticky cover mechanics. The gunplay also feels good, with weapons feeling powerful and pulling off headshots actually feeling effective. The shoot and loot aspect of it fails a bit though, since the weapons just feel uninteresting, plus your gear score means next to nothing except for in certain situations. It's not completely devoid of fun though, as playing with friends makes you feel like you're part of a squad as you plan your attacks and pull off synchronized headshots. Ghost Recon Breakpoint takes a host of different ideas from previous Ubisoft titles and creates a game that seems to struggle with its identity. If you enjoyed this review, please hit that like button, and if you are new, hit that subscribe button. And if you got your hands on Ghost Recon Breakpoint, let me know what you thought of the game in the comment section down below. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.